Hey, Jules. Happy Tuesday. We had a wonderful time on Sunday at Women's Sunday, and I am so thankful for you women and the ones that came and the ones that were just there and helped and made it all possible. It was just a wonderful day of celebrating the women of God. And I just appreciate you all so very much. And so today I want to continuing talking about what's on the inside. It will not stop speaking. I'm kidding you not. The Lord just blows my mind how he continues to show me things through this whole looking on the inside and what things look like truthfully. What's the reality of it? And so if you guys remember Sunday, if you were there Sunday or you watched the live, you probably heard me make mention that I had a hen that laid 2 eggs. And when I went to make breakfast and crack them open, the first one had no yolk in it. The second one had no yolk in it. 2 in a row literally had no yellow in them. And so I was like, oh my gosh, Lord, I hear you. And it was just a continuing that's the kind of God that I know. That's the kind of God that I serve. What he does is tangible. I don't have to go to church to see it. I don't have to even be in my prayer time to hear him or see him, because I live and dwell in a place where that I am a temple. The Holy Spirit remains in me, and I'm going to dwell in that. And therefore, when you dwell in that, you will begin to see things happen all around you. You will be about your day doing things and still dwelling in his spirit, and he's still speaking to you. He's still talking to you. We don't separate ourselves from who he is or what he can do. He's always speaking and for those that are looking and listening, he is always speaking. And so in the silliest of things that some people can think that it is, it's not, because he's ministering to me right there when I'm cooking breakfast. Come on, somebody. And so I was like, okay, Lord, I hear you. This is good. Like, this is just another, little nugget to this whole big thing that you're speaking. And so when I mentioned that on Sunday, I was talking to mom Sunday afternoon, and she was like, I have never heard of that. Like, I have never heard of that. So she was like, I'm going to look into that. So she calls me back about an hour later, and she's like, well, this is definitely a God thing. She was like, go look this up about hens that lay yolkless eggs. They're called fairy eggs or even witchy eggs. And so what it means is, and I was like, okay, well, that's going to be a devotional this week, and we're going to look at that a little bit closer. And so they're called fairy eggs and can even be called witchy eggs. You can't even make this stuff up. Something has disturbed her reproductive cycle. Something has happened. Something has came in. Something has shook the hen up. Something has tried to, something has came in and bothered her cycle, her reproductive cycle. This is so good. I hope you're catching it. It can be also a result of stress or disruption. How many times has stress bothered your cycle? And it has caused you to not bring forth fruit in the kingdom. It has caused you to not do what you are supposed to do, how you are supposed to live, be the woman of God that you're supposed to be, because you're stressed, because you're emotional, because something has came in and bothered you. You quit doing what you were made to do. You laid a pointless egg. You were a clinging symbol. You were empty. There was nothing else there because you let something disrupt your reproductive cycle in the kingdom. What you carry on the inside. See, the egg looked okay. You went to church, you showed up, you might have looked okay. You went to work, you might have dressed okay. You might be going about your day and you look okay from the outside. But the reality of the inside is you have let something disrupt your cycle, your reproductive cycle in the kingdom. And therefore, those eggs had to go in the trash, because I don't need a yolkless egg. And I think it's hilarious that I don't do fairies and all that kind of stuff. That's not for me. And I don't like what all that stands fairy. I don't do that. So I think the importance of the significance here, fairies, we know spells, mystical, magical, those types of things, in which let enough of, I mean, come on, somebody, a witchy egg, come on, that's just the enemy take and kill and steal and destroy. That egg cycle, so to say, come on, you can't even make this stuff up. And so, therefore, when you have been stripped and you are hollow on the inside, you're not producing the fruit that you're supposed to produce, that the Lord has given you and blessed you with, and talents and abilities, and just opening your mouth, just living right day by day, just doing what He's called you to do. I'm not even talking about church stuff. I'm talking about day-to-day stuff that He has called us to do, how He's called us to treat people, talk, live, what's in our hearts, what's in our minds, all those types of things. And when we miss all that and we're an empty shell and we're not walking and doing what we're supposed to be doing in the kingdom, come on, if I'm not for Him, then am I against Him? If I'm not doing what He's called me to do? This is so good, and I had to share it with you guys. And so a couple scriptures, Jeremiah 17:7-8 says some scriptures just to go along with this. Says, blessed is the man who trusts in the Lord and whose hope is in the Lord, for he shall be like a tree planted by the waters, which spreads out its roots by the river, and will not fear when heat comes, but its leaf will be green because it's plugged into a source, and it's going to reproduce. It's going to make sure that its leaves are green. It's going to make sure there's fruit coming forth because it connected to the water, the living water of Jesus Christ. It will not be anxious in the year of drought. There's a word for some of us right there. Nor will cease from yielding fruit. So this is saying right here, even if there's a drought, it doesn't matter what. This tree has enough sense. It's planted by the water, and it stretches out its roots forth and grabs from what it knows that's going to continue to help its leaves to be green, to continue to yield fruit on that tree. It's not concerned with its circumstances around us, but it has enough sense to step in to the water. So therefore, it can continue to reproduce. It can continue to do what it was created to do. And if we go on down, I didn't even have this in my notes, but this is good. This heart is deceitful. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? I, the Lord, search the heart. I test the mind. Even to every man according to his ways, according to the fruit of his doings. Again, everything we've been saying. The Lord will search the heart. And your heart, your emotions can sometimes get you in trouble. It is deceitful above all things when you do not have a helmet on, when your roots are not in His water, emotional. Because of your circumstances, it will affect your fruit if you let it. Just like what happens with these very eggs. There's something that's came and disrupted cycle. Something has happened down there that's disrupted her. There's something, I don't know if there's been a varmint. I don't know if it's another hen. I don't know if it was the wet. I don't know. Something has disrupted her in the natural, and it's caused what comes out of her to not be good. Galatians 5:22-23, we all know it, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Those should be things that we produce. And it's the fruit of the Spirit, not the fruits, because they are one fruit that makes up all of these things. You just don't get to say, I have love and joy, but I will not have patience. It works as one, right? We look at John 15:16 says, you have not chosen me, but I have chosen you and ordained you that you should go forth and bring forth fruit, and that your fruit should remain, that whatsoever you ask of the Father in my name, He shall give it to you. But we have to remain in Him. We have to choose Him and bring forth the fruit. John 15:5 says, I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, Once again, this goes back exactly with 1 Corinthians 3:16, what I preached on Sunday about this body as a temple and a dwelling place for the Holy Spirit. He's the vine. We are the branches. We have to be connected to him. If you're not connected to him, you can't produce the fruit that he is calling forth for you to produce. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. Apart from me, you can do nothing. Proverbs 18:21, death and life are in the power of the tongue. Again, this everything that I'm saying, it's what comes out, right? Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruit. What you speak, you're eating. You are coming in agreement with. You are coming into communion with. If you speak negative, if you speak anti what his word says, you are coming in agreement and eating of the fruit of an antichrist mentality. We've all been there and done it. What's in here is going to come out eventually. That's why, is anybody listening, how important it is on what's on the inside. Do not reproduce a yolkless egg today. Do not let your physical circumstances, your emotional circumstances affect your reproductive cycle. Come on. We're not in the fairy business. We're not in the witch business. We are in kingdom business. We are in seeing the fruits of our labor. We are in continuing to bear much fruit, regardless of what comes and tries to disrupt us. Come on, people are going to try to disrupt you. Your finances will try to disrupt you. Your marriage sometimes feels like it's disrupting your spiritual walk, your kids, your job, the enemy that comes in your mind, just your own stinking thinking, your own flesh, family issues, issues with friends, issues with this, issues with that will try to disrupt you. But you make a choice of what you eat of. You make a choice of what you let affect you. I'm in the world. There may be some issues in my life, but those issues don't have to get inside of me, because I choose to remain in him, because he is the vine and I'm just a branch, and I've got to stay connected to him in order to bear fruit and dwell in him and let him dwell in me, because that's what I was created to do. I hope that you guys have a blessed and wonderful day. Don't forget, we're going to be going to Janet's house on Friday. We're looking for a great time as she's going to lead us in a Bible study. And so if you guys have any questions about that, just, ask Janet or me. And we're looking forward to a great time. I hope that you guys have a wonderful and blessed day.